You were saying?
I didn't really think that anybody would be that bothered about seeing what we're doing with Tuna, but turns out loads of you are. So this is a fairly long overdue Tuni update. And if you remember the last time we left, Tuni was just turned out to be a feral beast, had pulled all of her shoes off multiple times, and was hopping lame. And so then I went to Australia and that was it. So it wasn't exactly the start we'd been hoping for, but she's made absolute besties with Ginny here, the little baby, out in her field. And whilst I was in Australia, Dan was left solo to deal with everything else. So Dan had to deal with Tuni being Tuni and also some health issues. So we'll start there, I think.
Just done a mad dash to the top of the field to be with everybody else.
Dan, being completely non-horsey at all, never ever ever in his entire life, didn't know what he was looking at when he said to me that she's caught herself on the back of her legs in the field. Turns out what had actually happened was not her catching herself on the back of her legs in the field. It was unfortunately mud fever. And in Scottish weather,
The bloody filthy horse.
she had a bad case of mud fever. So with the help of Isla on the yard and the other guys on the yard who were very, very helpful for Dan began the nursing process of basically making Tuni's heels go back together. But in the end, she was healing up, looking really good. So by the time I returned, she actually wasn't so bad. And I just wanted to see what the current situation was and then start with my project of bring Tuni back into work. You said that you're going to catch her.
How's jet lag life treating you, Jess?
Not good.
No?
Not good.
Why?
Because it's midnight. I'm tired.
You're tired?
Day one. They're back on UK soil.
But you expect to see Tuni?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, I've got my sheepdog, so he's going to come and help. You going to help? Got to be good, though. Looking helpful. That's what I like to see.
You know what I like to see? My Jess Bear back on, I was going to say English soil, but it's Scottish soil.
Work never stops at all, but it was actually nice to have a phone call walking up the field because I could catch my breath and then not look like I was dying. I'm going to go off.
Okay. Is that not her straight down? Behind Ginny?
Real toddler. Tuni, where's your overreach boot? Tuni has a habit of losing overreach boots. You'll see that this is a consistent theme, and it's usually Dan's mission to then go and find the overreach boot across 3 different large fields, all on a hill with uppy downy bits that it could hide in. So always lots and lots to do. And Ginny over there is herding the dogs. You can see that it is obviously it's raining at the moment, but it's wet on the ground. However, the field is actually fairly dry. I know you're not going to believe me, but it is.
There's a Jess Bear in her natural habitat. These are a rare species. They're almost extinct. There's only one left in the world.
Always find them at the stables. Or with dogs. How's your walk?
Long, hilly, wet, shoeless.
She's herd bound. She's really tight.
Is that what it is?
Really tight, Ginny, yeah. And they were both sort of protecting each other from the scary dog.
Tuni, head scratches.
To refit a bridle. Don't rub your mane out.
What doing?
Well, I just said that, but you weren't listening. Just simplifying the situation for her.
I wish I could simplify you.
I was just going to put her in a halter, but we'll just go with slightly increasing level of control.
It's this one that's the worst that was the worst.
Oh, put it. To be fair, her mud fever had healed fairly well at this point, almost completely invisible, just the signs that it was there in the past. So a little bit of slightly, very, very slightly pink skin and not much hair, but hair regrowth oncoming, so not really that much stress and drama. And then also just wanted to assess her feet with the shoes that had been ripped off and see how she was doing barefoot. She walked up so well on the rocks, so that filled me with confidence, even though I wasn't 110% on it. Not really in the right clothing. This isn't a horse t-shirt. I'm really sorry, Coralie. I'm really sorry. My faux tees tee shouldn't be at the yard. Or maybe it should be at the yard.
Who knows?
Oh, I got some like fluff in my hat. Oh, since when did the lead rope break? 1, 2, 3,
Can we smile at the camera?
Concentrating.
Don't do that, it's dangerous. I mean, it's thinking that's dangerous, but...
Working on feel. Should we hit this out, or do you want to leave it tucked in so you don't get hit in the face?
It's a new trend, Mum.
She wants it tucked in, that's fine. The mission was gentle lunging, ideally no crazy shapes, and assess soundness, hopefully praying for the best there, with the intention of getting on at some point later in the week, depending on how she sort of looked and felt.
Good girl. There's a good girl.
Very new.
There's a good girl. There you are, you're a good girl.
Scaredy crows. Should we walk together? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tuna, we're probably going to get some smokes. I think we'll just let her move. See what we end up with. Just kind of like the surface. Right. Relax, down. Relax. Yes, good. Good. Nice. Moving nicely, Dad.
You were saying?
For everybody who already knew us beforehand and knew Tuni, you'll know that she is a late started from Spain, and she has had numerous periods of sort of like health situations, and so she's still fairly like a baby. We treat her like a baby still, even though she's really not a baby anymore. And so for her, she's always been quite sensitive, she's always been quite spooky, and for the last 3 years she's been on and off, in and out of work because of other bits and pieces that have gone on. And we sort of are just hoping that she'll end up fairly okay as an all-rounder. We're not expecting miracles. She's never going to be a world beater. She'll never go to the Olympics or anything dramatic or grand like that. We just want her to be happy and sound and able to work well in her own body, even though she's horrendously one-sided, which, to be honest, is also me too. So I'm aiming for some elements of relaxation, even with all of the noise happening behind the wall that she doesn't know where it came from. And that's the main goal. And I'm so happy with her.
Good.
Yeah, I'm happy with her. She mentioned it sound, so I'll watch the video back.
Yeah. Just brought another animal to the collection. Another black and white collie. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. Jess is with Tuna. Tuni all tacked up and 99% likely to be getting on and riding. Isla has just asked Jess if she's getting on. Jess responds, I'll try.
And try I might. So in here was the only the only arena with some space, as the guys were having riding lessons outside, but I wasn't alone.
I think that has got my name on it.
And so I did need to be a bit careful to not create a drama. And with Tuni, drama was kind of normal every day. So as soon as possible, really just jumped on. Sometimes it's just better to just get it out of the way and get on. And the main aim for me in this moment in time was to just remain fairly chill, fairly light contact, nothing dramatic, and just talk to her, make sure that she was okay, calm and collected. Yeah, we have had rears, bucks, bolts, everything in the past, and almost every ride, lots and lots and lots of spooks, and all sorts of also historic pain-related things from ulcers. So it was just a case of trying to show her that we're okay, we're all right, and I'm in a super, super, super soft snaffle bit as well, so she can just play. And no tight noseband, nothing like that, no tight martingale. We still had a spook at something on the floor, but overall fairly okay on this one. We were okay. We're starting with some trot work. Her favourite pace is her trot, and I realised fairly quickly, both in walk, trot and canter, that she was super on the left rein, but on the right rein she felt stiff as a board, and she was also bananaing to the left, so she was falling in and throwing her head out in in all paces on the right rein. So that was something that we needed to investigate and check out a little bit more. I was just trying to explain to Dan that she feels a bit off on that rein. So I thought maybe she was stiff.
So it's like you've got a scratch on your CD. This is a horse walking that doesn't normally walk. Like I said, Jess, you sure it's Tuna you got from the field?
Yeah, Tuna did use to jog everywhere. Everywhere. Literally freaking everywhere.
Is she alright?
I thought she was a little bit stiff the last time, so left her off and out, turned out for another few days. I think she's been out, I think I rode probably a week ago. And the field's dried out anyway, so that's fine. She's super happy, chilled, no rugs, because it's like not bad weather in general, and it's very mild. So I'm going to get on again today. Let's just sort of suss out, see if we're feeling a little bit looser, because she was a little bit stiff the last time. Wish me luck. She literally couldn't be further from me. That's her back behind that wall.
Okay, so again, another sort of semi-assessment, and again, another new arena. So she's been now in 3 completely brand new places that she's never been in before. Starting off super steady, working on a little bit of leg yield, just see if we've got that on both reins. A little bit steep at times, falling out, but I was quite happy with her that she was at least being somewhat responsive. So that was positive for us, but for me anyway. One thing that you should know fairly quickly, or have already guessed if you do horses, is that I'm not a dressage rider. I'm not a dressage rider. Physically, I'm an absolute disaster. I'm sure there'll be some bits mentioning that later on in this video. But yeah, so it's never been my thing. I've done fast stuff. I used to be a workout jockey on a racing yard. So slow bits and long stirrups, not my bag.
Going from one extreme to another. Rearing, bolting, bucking, bronking, and now we're napping.
Napping is in sleeping rather than anything else. However, I was quite happy with how she worked again here. New place, new outdoor place. Usually she would be just completely up in the air. So the fact that she was actually trying really, really hard, there's lots of this where if you can hear the audio, it's just me saying, yes, good girl. And it was just nice to see. So at this point, I'm thinking, who drugged my horse? And where did she go? Because this is just not the horse that I'm used to riding at all. She's still really one-sided, but it's something that I think is a strength related thing, and also perhaps a little bit more stiffness. And maybe it's a case that I've leveled up a little bit because I'm wonky as heck as well. We don't help each other, us two, but we're just two adult amateur podium people situations. And she's coming back into work and it's okay.
She feels like it's sort of like riding on like a sewing machine. That way it's like back. Whereas the other way, I want to change the way. The other way round, it feels like it's so loose and really relaxed. And I don't know if it's balance, strength, or whatever, but it just doesn't feel
Well,
nice. But then,
the right side's your weakest side, so it's going to be her weakest side.
yeah, so we're not helping each other with, considering that like I'm a lefty. And physically I'm not great on my dad.
That's the understatement of the century. I'm just looking forward to getting a blue badge one day.
Genie tried really. How
I love you, you know that, don't you?
Are you just trying to get copyright strikes?
Even when I shout at you.
Are you looking forward to basically being my jump pole putter-upper?
I would say I'm not really being that because I have to put them up once. That's when I put them up. But with your horse, I'll be putting them up about a dozen times.
Very, very warm. Wasn't prepared for this. Do you want me to carry one?
I don't need.
Not just that, it's a very primitive.
Alright then.
I am a masculine man. I'd broken.
These are like a few months old. And the arms popped on.
All right, well, shall I just carry one?
Yes, please.
Okay, all right.
Thank God. Any slower and we would be going backwards.
Tuni's favourite thing has always been jumping, but I thought maybe if she could have a play over some jumps like she used to do, perhaps we would get her a little bit more forward, a little bit more working into the bridle. Just perhaps. We don't know whether that was going to be the case or not, but Olivia was going to do some jumping anyway, so I just joined in as well. So I opted for a saddle because I'm not a teenager anymore, and I just felt like stirrups and a saddle would be helpful. But still, Tuni was really sluggish, really steady, and in canter on the right rein, she was still leaning in massively, but just really behind the bridle, just nothing really there until she saw Dusty jump, Olivia's horse, and then yeah. So we had a little bit of a play. Tuni's old MO was bomb at a fence at 3,000 miles an hour and then bomber away afterwards as well. So we did lots of work in the old place at stopping.
You controlled her very well there.
And so a little bit more control was good. We popped her over some fences that were a little bit bigger for her. It's actually better if they're a bit bigger, 80, 90 metre 5, potentially metre 10, just because then she just sits back and listens a little bit more. Because she's had some time off, just bringing her to some smaller fences. And having some fun in the meantime. And I think having fun in the meantime is really important. I think it's so important for horses anyway to just do what they enjoy. And for her, she enjoys to jump stuff. Whether we're any good at it, whether we would ever win anything is completely irrelevant. It's just fun. And we ended with a hack together.
It was really steep, really nice, and then we come all the way over the top of the field, like through the gate. She got a little bit
Tense.
doggy in a bit
Okay.
at the top of her field. I think she was like, I know where I am.
Yeah.
But then when she realised we were just walking, she was fine.
Oh, good girl.
10 out of 10.
And then it was the moment of truth, where our farrier tested her feet just to triple check that I wasn't making stuff up in the fact that she was fine. And I was really nervous about this. I don't look nervous, but I am. I'm holding it all in on the inside. After so many problems with her feet, finally, we're doing okay.
Well, before when I did this, she was really sensitive, wasn't she?
Yeah.
So the soles have hardened up now. She's not feeling it at all.
No, she's basically like a wild pony. Self-aware.
Maintaining her own feet almost. Almost. Yay! So initially when she pulled the shoes off after she was messing about, that's what's happened. She sort of bruised all the sole. Yeah. And you know, when she first pulled the shoes off and I had the hoof testers on, she was really sensitive. But because she'd made such a mess on the hoof wall when she pulled the shoe off, we couldn't nail one on safely.
No, that's that ragged.
And that's that raggedy bit there. So she ripped all the wall away where the nails had gone to hold the shoe. But
And the
there's
bruise is
nothing
just
we could do.
growing out. So
The bruising's coming out now.
she can't feel that
She
anymore.
can't feel that anymore, no.
No.
No, see how she's got a nice solid sole right now, actually.
I feel like she's a solid soul horse.
She's a tough cookie.
You can see a difference in them. I think, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. But as she is, they just sort of, they're chipping away to where they need to be at the moment.
Cool.
So,
Wait till those chips fully grow out, and then we can get some nice shape on them.
yeah.
And that gave me the confidence to go out and hack. So this is our very first solo hack alone in probably over a year. We used to hack alone way back when, but we had some issues. We had some very near misses on the roads where we used to live. And here it's off-road hacking. So I felt like we would be maybe okay. Previously, she would jog most of the way, she would bounce, she would just be a feral beast. And these hills are so big, we lived in flatland, that it's really, really great as well for her back end, which is quite weak. So I wanted to get out there if I could and go out and hack alone, because for her to be able to move to the farm, because remember you guys, she's not at the farm at the moment. I don't have amazing facilities like this, but for her to move back to the farm, she needs to hack alone. There is no alternative. And that's really it for exercise as well. So if she can't hack alone, she can't come home to the farm. It's just not an option. And so this moment was just amazing. I'm getting emotional even talking about it. It's just amazing that she was really happy to do this. Really, really happy to do this. Really happy to go out. No problems with that. Quite confident. And just with me all the way. So who is she? Who is she? And that is the buckle end. 3 years I've waited for that. 3 years. But I can't just chill out, wandering around tracks and stuff. It was time for a lesson.
Fairly long stretch to my right. Where, like in your hip or your leg or...
So going through health situations first, it is important that your instructor knows if physically you literally can't do something. So I've got a few injuries, some from riding, some from genetics. Cheers, mum and dad. And it was important that she knows that. But we were just trying to get Tuni calm, and then we commenced with slow stuff.
So now what we'll do, just to get her attention, is we'll just play around with the ball a little bit. That's quite hard for her. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Just like keep going. You might feel like you've got control in every single step. So it's like more than a collective wall. That's it. Now, just open the knee, relax your leg, and allow it to go forward. So loose leg is freedom of movement, closed leg is flexion. Good girl. That's it. Good. Good. Oh my God, you're already bad. Bring the hands a little bit wider. Just shorten your rein a little bit so that your elbows, you've got a little bit more. No, so if she pulls back at you a bit, you cannot let it do it. Back on the struggle there. And I feel like I'm like going, my elbows going further and further backwards. I'm watching back and I'm like, for God's sake. Do you know what though? Some horses you have to put straight onto the contact. Yeah. To then make them accept it and then let them stretch at the end. Some horses will stretch at the start and then you pick them up. Yeah. So with her, I think you've got to sort of pick the contact up, get the leg on, push her into the rein, and then eventually when she starts to settle, you know, let her down a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I don't think Tuni wants to do anything. Oh, she's up. Hey, Tune. Oh my goodness, this is the bobbliest video ever.
You say that every time you're doing video.
Oh.
Trying to use some of our lesson bits and pieces. First of all, just starting again with some laterals, not technically pretty, but at least she's listening. And that's a really nice place to be at, because listening whilst working is always a good thing. And then picking her up just a little bit more this time to ask for some more everything, really. More attention, more listening, more into the bridle. And it still took a while. I tried to find our old medium trot buttons that were installed previously and eventually found them at the end of a diagonal, but it was pretty sketchy to start with. It's a lot when you're not very good to post yourself riding on the internet, but if you'd have seen us 3 years ago, you'd be like, who are these people? Because they're not the same. Still, she can't shake her Spanish genetics that mean that when she stands still, she has to play with a bit wildly. Seems like that's a running trend, but there we go. And so we went out for a hack afterwards to finish off, or in between. We just hack all the time, but Dan usually brings a dog. So Rembe came with us to go and do exercise.
Yeah.
Miles away.
Well, yeah, to get my big head in up here.
I feel like a little bit. My plan for today is to stop bimble-bombling around and ride better. So I want to just try and be better for her, because at the moment it's mainly on the right rein. I'm collapsing like a wet lettuce. So just seeing if we can build up some of that strength and see if we can get her working over her back a bit more. Some more bigger medium forward trots.
You can see a little bit more of the full herd this time, so there's up to 10 horses out with her at any one time. Perfect.
Have a reach boot. Great. And there she is, right next to Bob. What have you been doing?
What do you mean?
Well, all you've done is put a boot on.
I've brushed her. I've been a tail on after my feet.
Don't judge, she's crying. Jesus. What was it?
In the field. Boop.
You see just having cuddles.
Tacking up used to be stressful, but not anymore.
We've changed. You pumpkin. You're one. You two. That's uncomfortable. Yeah, yeah, this way. Need to sort out this crazy hairdo.
Why, what's wrong with it, Mums? That's stylish.
Well, I don't know if it is.
New fashion. Tuni, you look like you're going to fall asleep.
She is. It's warm. She's sunbathing.
Give me a T. Give me a U. Give me an N. Give me an A. We have Tuna.
You can't take Tuna out of a tuna because she still has a little bit of a look and a spook at things now and again.
What is it?
But she tries nonetheless. In this session, I did really, really, really want to try and be better. Just be better. I always just try and be a better rider for her, and I'm not probably not the worst rider in the world, but I'm definitely not amazing. And I just want to try and give her what I think she deserves, even though I just hope that she's happy. So try to do just some a little bit more lengthening strides, and then trying to do some more lateral bits, and at the same time just trying to gain her a little bit more confident, a little bit more steady in the contact, because she's never been great in the contact, but that's because I've never been very good at riding. So we're ironing out old habits, and they die pretty hard. Canter's still super difficult for her. It was never a strong pace, if we're being honest. Pretty much like her walk jogging situation, but she was trying. Still tight on the right, so that's where the shoulder in comes in, the leg yield comes in, and even travers. So my main aim is just to try and keep her happy. And she would tell you if she wasn't happy, because she'd deck you. She'd deck you in a second. She would literally launch you off her if she wasn't happy. The more questions you ask her, the better she is. But if you tell her, she'll tell you back. Ask her more. That's the way, isn't it? So leg yielding out slightly, just gentle, and then putting it back in. You can see a lot more resistance going that way. So it's just trying to work that out with her and seeing if we can do transitions on the straights, because she will always find that more difficult. Lots of stretchy trots in between. Tuna stretchy trots, not like a warm blood, so don't expect it to be. She's trying, and I can't ask for any more than that, because to be honest with you, I'm trying as well.
The other day, guys, we went on a little family walk. Apart from Jess was the only one that was not walking. Just letting everyone know, the other day we went on a family walk. Apart from you, was the only one that wasn't walking. Mountaineering. How's it going, Jess Bear? Get off my face. Rude. I have 2 legs. They have 4. And then they decide to take it into a trot. Not a chance I was going to break into a run.
And so that leaves us here at the end. And if you've got this far, then yes, you do deserve a medal. But we have to think about the future, because Tuni does eventually need to come home to the farm. That's the point. That's why we purchased a property with land. Remember this moment when I was picking your feet out. And she's a different horse, completely different horse. And I think the management is a huge factor in that. Some horses just really do work well on 24/7 herd turnout, in when they need to be, in when medically they need to be, but other than that, they're out. So as I pick her feet out as she naps on the floor, literally not wanting to wake up, her and Ginny are literal best friends here, we do need to start looking at the future. So she needs some friends, because she can't be here alone. We've learnt that. If we've learnt anything, she needs a good big field, not small boxes. She needs room to move and stretch and run and graze. And she just needs to come home. So Project Get Tuni Home is a go. And although this yard is heaven, it's not forever. And I probably do need to clone Ginny so that she can have a bestie. She's off back to sleep.